Good day, everyone. This is Ilda Strauss for Bridges for Peace, coming from the most beautiful city in the whole world, Jerusalem. And I'm speaking to you just over a week after the Syrian civil war drew to a very abrupt close. It's been raging for 13 years. I remember the opening shots of the civil war, and in just over 2 weeks, it came to an end. Now, as all eyes of the world are on Syria, hoping for a better future for the Syrians, the question on our minds, what does this mean to Israel? And here today to answer that question for us is Colonel Grisha Yakubovich. Colonel Yakubovich served in the IDF for multiple years. He is retired at the moment. He was the last IDF mayor of Gaza City, and he served as the head of COGAT for a number of years. Grisha, welcome.
Hi, Elza. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, Grisha. Now, before we dive into what this means to Israel, very briefly, can you give us an overview of what happened? I mean, it was 13 years. It felt like this conflict would drag on forever. And then in 2 weeks, out of nowhere, it came to an end.
You know, usually on weekends, I go to the synagogue to pray, something that was that I'm keeping after my both parents passed away. So if I'm not going during the week, at least I will do it at the weekends. And the guys that I pray with, they quote something from the Bible, and they quote something like, maybe you will remember that he refers to Israel that you will do whatever you need to do, and God will fight for you.
Yes.
So I don't remember the book. I don't remember from where. Don't.
It's King Jehoshaphat.
Okay, that's your expertise, not mine. And this is how they see things. Now, just look at what happened. And I want to use something that I used recently from the theory of chaos. That a butterfly, flies with wings like that, and somewhere at the atmosphere, he creates a tornado. And actually, the butterfly actually started to move the wings on October 7th with the attack that Yahya Sinwar led. And then on October 8th, Hezbollah joined this with another butterfly, and it looked bad. And we explained, I think that it was one of our Zoom lectures that I explained that we are facing 9 arenas. Everybody said 7. And we said it's going to take time, it's going to take years. And this is the Iranian strategy, the proxies. But we also said that there's some hope there that I believe that eventually Iran will sacrifice their proxies, as they used to do in history. Okay, if you would go back in history with the Persian Empire, so this is exactly what the Persians did then when they hired Greek proxies that fought for them, and they were the ones who died for them. They just paid the money. So it's not something new to this. I would say, if we can call them an empire. Okay.
So
and we were sure that it's going to surround us, that it's going to be harder, it's going to be our existential threat. And suddenly, this amazing thing that happened, I don't know who did it, that the beepers exploded in Lebanon, and then the walkie-talkies, and then Israel killed Nasrallah, and then we killed all the leadership of Hezbollah, and then Haniya was killed in the heart of evil in Tehran, and then Yahya Sinwar in Gaza, and suddenly it all started to collapse.
Indeed.
So this effect, this domino effect, okay, this tornado actually is a tornado that was changed the direction from hitting us from Gaza, from Lebanon, from Syria. We spoke about the threat of Syria, okay? I expect, by the way, this is one of the mistakes that I did, that I expected, and I think that I mentioned that to you in the past, that
Mhm.
our real threat is from the north, from Syria.
Correct.
And when I mentioned the number of 150 proxy Iranian militias that are waiting there for an order to attack Israel from the north, this is how we all saw it. And suddenly the wind changed the direction and this tornado hit a dam. And we see what happened with Hezbollah. And the rebels in Syria understood it quite fast and used this domino effect. And actually, all the dominoes suddenly collapsed in the faces of evil. So Syria, actually, something that nobody expected. Nobody expected that. There was zero intelligence by us, by Iran, by Russia, that possess assets inside Syria, and it all exploded in their face. In 11 days, the rebels in Syria succeeded to lead a change in the Middle East that will, if I was sure that the changes in the Middle East will be anti-Israeli changes,
Right.
I'm not sure now that the changes are not also anti-Israeli interest, but also will change it in a different way, that the Shi'i, I would say the Shi'i vision will collapse. Now, again, I don't know if the Sunni jihadist vision is better to us, but at least the Shi'i, what Iran presents, the Shia, the elimination of Israel, okay, the Ring of Fire, is something that actually is changed right now, that this Ring of Fire is going to surround not Israel, but the Ring of Fire is going to surround Iran.
Okay, hang on for a moment there, Grisha. Are you speaking about a ring of fire? Please break that down for us.
Let me present it to you, okay? If I may. Can I share something? So I will share this. So we will understand what is the Ring of Fire, okay? So we were attacked by Gaza, okay, from Gaza on October 7th. And then Hezbollah joined. And then from Syria, we suffered from some, at the beginning, okay, some launches of rockets from Syria. And then the Houthis also started to launch, and they still do. And then from Iraq, pro-Iranian militias, okay, from Iraq. And then we remember the 2 attacks from Iran, okay?
Right.
And also the West Bank, okay? That the situation there is different since May 2021, after the 4th round of escalation between Israel and Hamas, that ended with Hamas victory. And of course, the global terrorism, we've seen that. And if we will add to that the dimensions, okay, that are against Israel, still some of them, is the public opinion is against Israel, delegitimization against Israel, cyber attacks, okay, also, psychological warfare also, and I would say the naval economic blockade that I will not, I changed my opinion about it, okay, twice. Once it was as an arena, okay, with the yellow rounds, but because I said that we are going to face a blockade from the sea, from the Red Sea,
Correct.
that the Houthis are leading, and I expected that Hezbollah will do the same from the Mediterranean, okay, and also from Syria, from Latakia. And this is the change. So, sorry guys, this is not what I was supposed to show. And actually, this is the change. Okay, the change is that the naval blockade is for now is only at the Red Sea, so it's not an arena; it's a dimension. Okay, for now. It's going to be changed also. Now, why is it going to be changed? Because the Houthis are next. Now, Iran understands, and the Houthis understand that they are next. So I believe this is going to expose us to the threat from the east. And the threat from the east, for us, is the threat from Jordan.
Oh, hang on. But before we get there, Grisha, who is behind this ring of fire? Is it a number of
No. A ring of fire was invented and created by Iran. Okay, this is the Shiite Iranian, I would say, plan. This is the strategical plan. And of course, for Iran, all the proxies will do the job, and it will be as a tool that they will be able to threaten the West. We are going to become a very influenced country as Iran. We are going to hold nuclear weapons, and if you will not allow it to us, we will lead the elimination of the state of Israel. Now, let's not forget, this is a minority in Islam, Shia, okay, Shia, that if Sunnis hate something more than the Jews, they hate the Shiite. Okay? And this is the unexpected thing, because when Khamenei and Iran raised their heads so high, it also made the Ottoman Sultan be very angry, Erdogan.
Oh.
So what we see here is something that it's only in the Middle East. You will not find it in Europe or in New Zealand or Australia or Africa, but it's only in the Middle East. That there's no problem that Iran and Turkey will be connected with businesses. But when it comes to leadership, when it comes to be the entity that leads the nations, okay, in the Muslim world, there is a huge battle, okay, between those ideas. So actually, what we see here is the victory of the Ottoman Sultan Erdogan, using his proxies that he prepared during those years when Iran planned their plans and implemented them. So quietly.
Explain that for us, Erdogan. Where does Erdogan fit into this?
Erdogan says the following. Erdogan says the following. Let me do that, if I may, okay? So this is the Middle East, okay? We have Syria somewhere here. I'm sorry, I need to maybe to change the map now, because now Syria is in the focus. So Turkey and Syria are up there, okay? This is Syria. And if you have Syria and you can cross, let's say that this is Qatar, okay? Here. Qatar owns a natural gas field in the sea. And if they could send the gas with a pipeline that will go from Qatar through Saudi Arabia, through Syria, directly to Turkey, it would save a lot of money. And the supply of natural gas to Europe will be in the hands of Turkey and Qatar and the United States.
Wow.
Now, if it's Iran, okay, this was their plan to do it from Iran, through Iraq, and then through Syria, and then through Latakia, the Mediterranean. It's longer. It means it will cost more. Okay?
So
eventually it's ideology with a business. Yes, the thing that you started to say with a B. Yes, this is a business. Okay? So if you are Erdogan and your rebels succeeded to change the reality in Syria and take control over Syria, that was controlled by, I would say, a family. I don't know. I need to find the right word. Okay, of the Assad family. What they present. Animals? No, I think it's worse than animals. They tortured and killed thousands on thousands of Syrians from their own people. And the horrors that we saw from the prison of Syria is only a drop in the ocean of what they did to their own people in Syria. By the way, just a side comment, nobody in the UN led a decision against them.
No.
Nobody implemented sanctions against them. Nobody accused them in massacring, butchering, killing. Those are resolutions that are only good for Israel. Okay.
And the ICC did not issue an arrest warrant for Assad, correct?
No, why should they? Now he is in Russia. Okay. I think that the ICC should demand from Russia to give him I don't know how to say it in that fact, to send him with a car so he will be arrested and judged, okay, like the Western world should do, but Putin will not do that. Why should he? Because when they took Assad from Tartus or Latakia 14 days ago with the helicopters, they also loaded $135 billion. So why should they send him to the hands? Or maybe they will because they will have the money. So maybe, I don't know. Let's see. It's funny. But if you are Erdogan and you see what Iran is doing in the Middle East, and you see as Erdogan that you should renew the Ottoman Empire as Khamenei and Soleimani wanted to renew the Persian Empire. The best way would be to take Syria using the Sunni rebels and actually to hold the joker in your hands. And this is what Erdogan did. And this is what we need to understand. What is the joker? From now on, everybody will need him. Now, he threatened, I'm explaining it. He threatened Europe for years that if he will not be accepted as part of the EU, he will release all the immigrants to Europe. So everybody begged him for years, don't do that, hold them in Turkey and we will pay you money. Number one. Number two, I think that Iran will be nice to him and they will ask him nicely, dear Sultan, we want you to allow us to send whatever we need to send from Iran through Iraq, because they have their own proxies in Iraq for now. Okay, let's see. Let's not forget that for the last 4 weeks, there was not even one drone or rocket that was launched from Iraq to Israel. So something happened there also. Somebody is really, really scared there. Or I don't know, maybe they fled. But they will approach to Erdogan and they will talk to the rebels and they will ask them, we want you to allow us to renew our friendship with Hezbollah, okay, here in Lebanon. So please allow us to cross with one road through Syria because we have some connections with them. So what do you want for that? 1 million barrels of oil, 2 million barrels of oil, 5 million barrels of oil. Now the Sultan will sit in his chair in Izmir or I don't know where, and he will say, okay, let me see, let me think. You need me, guys? You beg. This is number one. Number two, Israel. Israel will also be nice to the Sultan. Dear Sultan, please don't you allow them to do that. don't you allow to Iraq or other proxies to reach to Lebanon and to rearm Hezbollah because we need, with the United States, to lead the change. And the United States will also be nice to him, even if it will be Trump. Dear Sultan, keep it as it is and do not allow to Iran to buy you with the oil, and keep it as it is. So what do you want me to give you that you will be a nice guy, a nice boy, and you don't do the tricks and the shticks? So we will be able to face a new Middle East. So the balance in the Middle East is about to change from a Shi'i, I would say, ideology, vision, dreams, strategy, to a Sunni strategy now, and this is where the catch is. If we refer to El Julani, that is changing that he's renewing his name, his original name. You know, El Julani is the Golan.
Correct.
It comes from the Golan. It comes from the Golan Heights. Like he is the Syrian rebel that adopted the name of the Golan Heights that are under Israeli occupation, according to what he says. Okay. Now he gives this name. He puts the name aside, or I don't know, he denies the name, and he's back with his new name. Now the question is he really the rebel that is leading this change of new Syria, a new era in Syria, and all he cares about is Syria and the people of Syria? Or we are talking about the new generation of the smart jihadists that understand.
Define that.
Excuse me?
Define that. New generation of smart jihadis.
Let me define that to you. I think I showed it to you once, and I will do it again. Do you know who is this guy?
That guy was born, yes.
In Jenin. He was born in Jenin. He is a Palestinian sheikh that immigrated to Afghanistan and met this nice guy. Okay? I forgot his name.
Bin Laden.
Oh, yes, Bin Laden. Yeah, he met him in the market. They both established Al-Qaeda. This guy, this Palestinian sheikh, is the father of modern jihad. El Julani is their student. He got his education, philosophy, ideology on the knees of those people.
But for all purposes, he denounced it, correct? How decisive do you think is that denouncement?
Well, I think that lessons learned from what happened with Al-Qaeda, and then with what happened with ISIS, and then with what came out from Gaza, the new jihadists, okay? This is the combination of Al-Qaeda evil, ISIS evil, Hamas and Pidge evil, and this is the new, and this is what came out on October 7th. And I think that Julani learned from that, from lessons learned from all the history of those organizations. And I believe, again, this is what we need to make sure that he's not, okay? That he's not the new Sunni jihadist that says, lessons learned. I'm not going to show them, I'm not going to tell them really what I think. For now, I have my goals. I need to lead those changes in Syria. And then I will fight to release the Palestinians or to free Jerusalem from the, I don't know, or to eliminate the West or Christianity. I don't know. Now, the problem is that we as the West, not we, maybe Israel is not, but the West is naive And I think that the first statement that came out from Europe and the States that, very fast, is it the right time to forget that Al-Julani is a wanted criminal, is a wanted jihadist, and there's a price of $10 million on his head? Suddenly, everybody forgot it because of a statement, because he changed his uniform to a suit, and because he started to grow a mustache also, and not only the beard, and he looks Western, because of the fact that his statements are good or nice to the Western ears. I think that what we saw here, okay, from Gaza, is something that we must, not only as Israel, but as the West, to learn those lessons. And one of the things that we need to learn from them, from Iran, from Hezbollah, from the Sunni jihadists, is that the most precious weapon that they have is time.
Does he mean what he says? I mean, he's cleaned up very well. He's changed his uniform for a suit. Okay, so
yes, this is what Julani says. Okay, now we should not be all naive. Let's wait. Let's wait. Let's give it a few months at least. Let's see if he's serious. Let's see if he means what he says. Let's see how he will treat the minorities. I think that one of his first exams is, if he really means what he says, that he will not execute the Alawis. The Alawis is actually 10% of the population in Syria. They are the ones who were the leading minority in Syria for the last 50 years or even more. They are the ones, Assad's people, Assad's family, Assad's minority.
Right.
And if he will be able to hold the anger against them, it will be one of his exams. Because the officers or the commanders that led this brutal or those brutal attacks over Syrians, Sunnis, Palestinians that were executed also in Syria. But nobody remembers that, by the way.
No, obviously not.
So it will be one of his exams. The second exam that is already happening is the exam of Kobani. Kobani is a town on this. It's a district, okay, that the minority that controls there is a Kurdi minority, okay, the Kurds, the most hated minority by the Ottoman Sultan, Erdogan.
Why?
He hates them for millions of years. Okay, it's a historical thing between Turks and Kurds, and they consider them as terrorists, like the PKK and SDF and others. But let's not forget that the Kurds were actually the rebels that were used by the United States to fight ISIS.
Correct.
So let's see what will Julani do with Turkey, that are his supporters, if the Sultan will give him an order to attack his enemies, the Kurdish terrorists. Exam number 2. Exam number 3.
Julani is beholden to Turkey.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Of course, he's Sunni. He comes from a Sunni jihadist ideology. Yes, Erdogan is not, he's Sunni, he's not jihadist, but he belongs to the Muslim Brotherhood.
Correct.
Now, let's not forget that everything was born in the Middle East from the Muslim Brotherhood. Actually, this guy, Abdullah Azam, originally, he is a member of the Muslim Brotherhood in the West Bank. And from those people, or in Al-Azhar University in Egypt, or Hassan al-Banna in Jordan, actually all evil evolved. It became Hamas, it became Al-Qaeda, it became ISIS, it became Khazar Shah, all those, I would say, the evolution of evil started with somewhere with ideologies from late 60s, late 70s here in this area. But let's not enter to a history lesson. Let's talk about geopolitics and interests, okay, if you don't mind. Yes. So the exam number 3 is a place in the northern part of Syria. It's called Prison al-Hol, that thousands of ISIS fighters are there in prison, in jail. And the ones who guard them are the United States forces and the Kurds supported by them.
Hey.
So, exam number 3 to Al-Julani, will he implement his loyalty to his brothers from ISIS and break to the prison and release the thousands of ISIS fighters that during the year were captured by the United States forces, by the Shia forces in Iraq that were supported by the United States, and by the Kurds that were working together with the United States to fight ISIS in the Middle East.
So basically,
complicated, yes, a little bit.
It's insane because this means he basically needs to go against everybody.
That's why we need time, we need to wait, and we need to force him to do what he says that he wants to do. Instead of automatically giving presents to him, like, okay, you are not a wanted man anymore. No, guys, wait with that. Tell him you are still wanted. Only if you will lead and you will actually do what you say that you want to do in Syria, and after 2 or 3 years that we will see that it's actually working, then we will think about other things.
Now,
if you ask me what is, Elsa, sorry, if you ask me what is my message that I want to send using your platform today,
correct,
guys, let's not be naive. Let's wait. I'm not sure that he is leading a change. I'm not so sure. I'm afraid, and this is why Israel entered to this zone in Syria, because we understand that after October 7th, we trust nobody.
Correct.
This is why Israel entered and conquered this 74 UNDOF agreement area after the Yom Kippur War, and this is why the IDF is on the Hermon, on the Syrian Hermon, okay? Because we trust nobody. We want to make sure that this Al-Julani that says that he wants to change and he wants to lead a change in Syria, that he is not a monster in a disguise, or he is a Sunni jihadist that, I don't know, 2 years from today, we will have to face a Sunni jihadist country on our borders in the north. So let's wait.
Israel is not heading for Damascus. Israel is merely putting a buffer zone.
All Israel needs is to secure our future. By the way, the United States entered to Kobani also to support the Kurds and to be there to make sure that they hold this piece of land or area, I don't know, so no, they will not be butchered by the Ottoman Sultan or by the rebels of Al-Julani. Well, nobody condemns them that they entered there. Nobody condemns Russia that they hold bases in Syria. Nobody condemns Russia that they just moved all their navy, the air force, to Libya. Why? Because Israel is doing something to make sure that we will be able to exist and live in safety, in security, that our children in the north will not be butchered like our children that were butchered in the south.
Wow, Grisha, this
Simple.
is Complicated is an understatement.
It's
Never a dull
complicated, but
moment in the Middle East.
It's complicated. Azab, my expertise, as you know, is to simplify the complexity. And this is what I'm trying to do with you here.
Grisha, you started mentioning Jordan, but
Yes.
I think this is something that we need to touch on in a different episode. I think maybe let's set it up for next week and then we speak about Jordan in more detail than I
Well,
think we get into
I
now.
have no problem. I just want to end with one sentence about Jordan, okay? Jordan, for years, provides Israel strategic depth. Now, 3 years ago, the brother of the king tried to lead a coup in Jordan, and he was arrested by the king.
Mhm.
Abdullah, the king, arrested his brother Hamza. The situation in Jordan is boiling. We've seen the demonstrations during the war against Israel there, and the king did nothing about it. And after what happened to Iran in Syria, after what happened to Iran in Lebanon, after what happened to Iran in Iraq, I think the weak spot that they see is Jordan. And this is why it is so, so dangerous to us.
So then,
But we will open a map and we will show it on the map next week.
excellent. Grisha, thank you so much. Thank you for unpacking this for us. And I think maybe the main takeaway that I have from this is, as I believe you do, seeing the hand of God. What the enemy meant for evil, God turned into, if not good, but God turned around. October
Well,
7th. Yeah.
exactly the question. How will the day after look like? So to the ones who believe that it will be with God, it's going to be amazing and wonderful. But there are others who think differently. Let's see.
Grisha, thank you very much.
Thank you,
And,
Elsa, for having me.
and from me, from Bridges for Peace in Jerusalem, thank you for tuning in. Join us again next week.
Thank you.